the math live stream for OneClass. Today we're going to go over three questions for the live stream. So the first question is differentiate ln of x. So the question is to differentiate ln of x. There are two main ways that you can approach this problem. The first way is very simple. First solution, you can just say y equals ln x, which is the problem, and dy over dx, as in the derivative of ln x is just equals to 1 over x by theorem. Because you can just state the answer because the derivative of ln x is 1 over x. It's a really common derivative, so usually you can just state the answer without including any solutions or without including any steps. Or alternatively, which is less common, you can tell your audience how did you get this solution. So this is kind of the behind the scene of why the derivative of ln x is equals to 1 of x. So let's get started. So you know y is ln x, and by the definition of logarithms, you know that this is the equivalent of e to the power of y equals to x. All right, so now you have e to the power of y equals to x, and what you're going to try to do is you're going to try to implicitly differentiate both sides. So what happened is that you know the derivative of x is just equals to 1, and you also know that ey is equals to x from up here. So what happens is that you can interchange ey with x because you know ey equals to x from up here. So you would have dy over dx, x equals to 1, and you divide by x by both sides to move x to the other side of the equation, and now you have dy over dx equals to 1 over x. So you know y equals ln x, and the derivative of y would be 1 over x, which is the same as your answer up here. So I'm just going to highlight the answer, and the answer. So these are the two ways that you can solve this problem. And now let's see what we have over here. The antiderivative, yes, this is a theorem that we're stating right over here, the first solution. So the tutor gave us the first solution, which is perfect. So I'll just say, great job, or great job. That's correct. That's correct. Solution is correct. And now I think we're moving on to our next problem. Cool. So the next problem is asking us how do we integrate 1 over x squared dx. So in general, if for any equation or for any term that we want to integrate that has the form x to the power of n, we have a general theorem right over here. That's how we approach this problem. So in this specific case, we want to integrate 1 over x squared dx. We know that 1 over x squared could be written as 1 or x to the power of -2. So then we just use this general form, and we know that n is equals to -2 in this case. So we just apply the formula, and we know that 1 over n plus 1 is 1 over -2 plus 1 to x to the power of -2 plus 1 equals to 1 over -1 x to the -1. So it's just equals to -1 x to the -1, which is just equals to 1 over x, which is negative. So yeah, that's our solution. And let's see. So yes, all right, we need to plus the c for like the constant term. Don't forget that. Some markers are really specific about the details of plus c, while others don't really care, but you should just write plus c anyways, because you never know who's going to mark your assignments or the exams. So yes, don't forget the plus negative c term. So yes, this is right. This is our formula right over here. Or sorry, this is y 1 over x squared is equals to x to the power of negative 2. And this is our formula right here, except the solution here used a and we used n. Yes, so this is correct. So we're going to say something like, yes, great job, great job. Perfect. And now we're moving on to our next problem. So this problem is, what is the square root of 45? This is our third problem, the square root of 45. So we know that this 45 is divisible by 5. How do we know that? Because any integers ending with 5 or 0 is divisible by 5. So the root of 45 is equals to 5 times 9, because 5 times 9 is equals to 45. Then we can split the two terms, or not split the term, we can like split the two terms because it's a radical. So and here we know the square root of 9 is equals to 3. So we have 3 root 5, and that's our answer. So this is more like simplifying the square root of 45 in radical term or in radical form. You could also give them a decimal answer, which you can just use your calculator to find the exact value of square root of 45. But usually, if they're asking you to find the answer by hand, this is the answer you're going to give, 3 root 5. And let's see. Yes, this is also correct. So I'll just say, that's right, this is right, or this, or I can't really type, this is right, yay! Awesome. And now we're moving on to our last question. And this question is, what is a math conjugate? So I think the question should be better worded as, what's a conjugate for math? So the term conjugate. So let's look at two types of examples, or two types of common examples. Type 1 is asking you, for example, what is a conjugate of 3x plus 5? So what's the conjugate of 3x plus 5? It would be equal to 3x minus 5. So a conjugate in math just refers to like binomial terms, and usually what you do is you just swap the signs in the middle, so you just change plus sign to a minus sign. So in this case, the conjugate of 3x plus 5 is equal to 3x minus 5. Or how about, what's the conjugate of 7x squared minus 11? Again, everything you need to do is you just swap the signs, so you would know that the conjugate of 7x squared minus 11 is 7x squared plus 11. So it's really straightforward. And the other type of problems, or type 2 problems that you're most likely to encounter, is asking you what's the conjugate of x, or 2x minus 1 times 2x, or 2x plus 1. So in this case, you need to simplify the terms. So you know 2x minus 1, so you would times this terms with this term, so it will be 2x times 2x will be 4x squared, and you would minus 1 time, and this term plus this term will be minus 2x, and then this term times this term would be plus 2x, and then lastly this term with this term would be minus 1. So you know minus 2x plus 2x cancels each other, and you are left with the term 4x squared minus 1. So you're looking for the conjugate of this term, which is equivalent to the equation above. And you know that the conjugate of 4x squared minus 1 is just 4x squared plus 1, which is really straightforward. So yeah, these are the two types of problems that you're most likely to encounter in terms of conjugate and binomials. Now, let's look at the sample solution here. Of they provided some examples of conjugates, and they provided some other examples of the second type of problems that you're most likely to encounter. So, whoopsie, I shouldn't press the wrong button. Okay, so we should say something like, great examples. And then the solution is correct. Perfect. So I think that's all we're going to cover today for the live stream. And if you have any more questions, welcome to subscribe to our channel and look for more live streaming about popular math questions asked in the high school level and the college level. Great. See you next time.